there's different relationships that we have in our life that it gets to a point to where we assess ourselves and we're like, is this helping me or is this hurting me? And when you get to that, there's some people that are in situations that they know aren't good for them, but they stick with them because they feel to the point that they are loyal to this thing. And again, I like how you just said that we have to be able to define and know the definition of these words to be able to use them for what they're actually for, and be able to know that at the end of the day, you have a commitment to yourself and make sure that you put yourself in the best situation. Obviously, in a relationship, you do have a commitment to the other person, but again, that's not to your detriment. You can't be allowing someone else to stand on your back while they're kicking you in the dirt. Welcome world, welcome family to another episode of the EL2A Podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Gilmore Jr. To the right of me, we got Mr. Military Man with some mouth from Conical. How you feeling today, bro?
Feeling pretty good.
Love to hear, love to hear. To the right of him, we got the Rocket, the highest 7 hills, Mr. Eddie Rocket. Let's go. How you doing today, bro? Guess he feeling great, man. Hey, it's 2025, man. We are, as we're recording this, man, it is day 7, 2025. When you're hearing this, it'll be day 9 of 2025. And I think they said, what is it, day 10? When most people stop doing what they're supposed to do?
I thought they said 8. Was it 8 or 9? I thought they said then it was 8.
I think it's 10. I don't know. Either 10 or 8. So hopefully around this time, you're still doing the same thing that you said you were going to be doing in the new year. We hope that the energy that you brought in, that you're keeping up with the habits. Again, it takes, how many days it take to build a habit?
Say, Rory's saying 21. Ain't that right, Mr. Rory? How many days to build a habit? 21 or 31?
I'm sorry.
How many days to build a habit?
27. 27 days to build a habit. So you got a lot more time to go, but you can do it. Just keep it up. We'll get it there. All right. But hey, man, make sure you're doing whatever you're doing right now. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. We got a wonderful year set out this year, man. I'm telling you, these episodes, the podcast is going to be phenomenal. The people that we're going to be bringing on, it's going to be phenomenal. One thing we do have to keep going, I put a challenge before, I think it was the last episode or maybe the episode before. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. All right. I think we're at 960 right now, so we need 40 more. And that is very simple. We can get there very, very fast. If you send this episode to your friend, to your cousin, to your grandma, to your mom, to your dad, and tell them go subscribe to this channel because they're going to get information that's going to change their life. All right, you can do that right now. But other than that, coming up soon, we're going to change it. But we got our casino night coming in March. We're going to have to change the date around a little bit. But you guys can look forward to a casino night coming in March. And for the rest of the year, we'll tell y'all what we got going on. But to get started, to entertain everybody, I got a little game that I want to play, man. You guys ready to play a game?
Let's go.
Yeah, y'all can be a little more excited. Y'all ready to play a game?
Let's go.
There you go. All right, so the game we're going to play, it's called Stay or Go. All right, so I'm going to give you guys some scenarios, and you're going to tell me, would you stay or would you go in these scenarios, all right? I'm going to start with you, Brother Miles. Brother Miles, you're offered a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make millions, but it requires you to spend years away from your children during their most formative years. Stay with your family or go and secure their finances.
Family.
Oh, that brother said you got ass. How about you, Brother Rock? What would you do?
No.
You going? You going to make the meals?
Yeah, I'm going to go.
Keep it a buck. Why would you go make them meals?
I'm going to go. I'm going to make sure I set the family straight. We'll be able to do it. I actually thought about that. I ain't gonna lie. I had an opportunity with trucking. I remember that too. But driving trucks or staying home, I ain't gonna lie. I did stay at that time, but I'm going.
You want to make millions?
I'm going.
Brother Miles, why would you stay?
Cause I mean, money, yeah, that's important, but I can go anywhere and make money. To sustain my family, but I can't get that time back.
That sounds like an answer that was in a book. That sounds like an answer that somebody got in a book, like a generic answer, but I get it, though. I know that's who you are, brother. Next question. Your best friend has always supported you, but they've developed a habit that's illegal and could damage your reputation by association. You stay loyal to and try to get them together, or would you go and protect your life and your image? Eddie, start with you.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, all right, you lit cheeky.
I mean, how does it?
No, you got the question.
Yeah, that's my boy. I'll stay on my boy.
Stick beside him. What do you think? Stick beside him.
I'll stay on my boy.
Okay. Why you staying with your boy? Fill us in.
Yeah, man. You never know. That fella, he might have what he have going on, but never know. That could be my, whenever I needed them, and the time, one of the tough times or something, maybe somebody that I feel understand me. Hey, mental health is important, right?
Yeah.
So regardless of what he do, if I feel that he's making, helping me stay sane with whatever I got going on, I gotta stay with my boy.
How about yourself, Brother Miles?
With like all of what you said, like no context, man, I would stay with him. Make sure that he's good. But yeah, it'll be a repeated process.
All right, let's do a couple more. All right, so you're engaged to some. All right, well, fellas, we know you guys. This is hypotheticals. This is my first. This is hypotheticals. Just play the game, fellas. You're engaged to someone who loves you deeply, but they don't support your biggest career dreams. Go stay and build a life with them, or go and pursue your ambition.
That's wild. I would say, I would say I would probably go.
You go? You out of there? Why you leaving?
Because I mean, like if you love that person and you understand, like if it's something that really means a lot to them. So I would never get in somebody where I would support them, especially if it's obviously like a positive dream or something like that. That's something to support. But I understand, like, if someone said that they would stay or whatever, that's either or type of thing. It just depends on you.
Yeah. How about you, Roxy?
I'm going.
Why you on?
Hey, man. Like I was raised that way.
I'm out of there. All right. Last. Your boss promotes you to a position of power and influence, but the role requires you to turn a blind eye to unethical practices that benefit the company. Do you stay and take the job, or you go and maintain your integrity?
I'm going.
Don't go. Why you go? Why you go?
Because look, I tell people quick, look, man, if you want to be my friend, don't ever do nothing illegal in front of me, because I ain't doing time for no one. So I'm telling you right now.
You gonna tell what you say?
I'm not gonna tell, but they ass, I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, don't do nothing illegal in front of me, because they ass, I ain't about to tell them.
I never heard somebody say they gonna snitch in a professional. You just saying that.
That ain't snitching. I ain't do the bad. It's only snitching if I did it wrong too. So I don't know all about.
I got you. Put yourself right there. He's so cool with Marcus. He said that. So he said they asked. I'm gonna tell. I ain't lying. I'm going with Miles.
I ain't doing. You're out. No harm. I was sorry.
So it's just, but what if it's just a little white lie? Nah. I mean, all they said is the boss room requires you to turn a blind eye to unethical practices. So unethical. Look at look. That's what. That boy had a risk.
I ain't about to flirt. Yeah. So I see the boy with the badge show up. Look, I just,
like you say, I just turn my back. I can't be a witness nothing that I don't know about. So, but nah, I'm going. I don't want to be there.
This will call my eye. One more. This will call my eye. All right, this really the last one. They just say something about mentoring. That's why I'm gonna read it. You've been coaching or mentoring someone for years, and they finally succeed, but they publicly downplay your role in their journey. Stay invested in them, or go and focus on others who value your contribution.
I'll stay invested.
Okay. Why is that?
Young and dumb. So, I'm for real. I mean, like, he young, so he probably, feeling himself. He probably came from a lot, so he's in a winning position. It goes to people. It happens to the best of people. So we've all been there at some point. You young, finally got money, or you feel like you got things going for yourself, so you riding that high a little bit too high. So I'll be there, because I know that humbling moment is going to happen, and that's when people really need folks in their corner that really rock with them to help them bounce back.
Yeah. How about yourself, Ross? Don't lie. I know you gone. Don't need lie.
I mean, that's it.
You lie, bro.
At that point, you say, I mean, at least for me, I see that, okay, you grew into a nice little butterfly, I think I did my part. I played my part. I'm going. But to your point, though, you did say, at some point, I feel like, if somebody did good to you and for you in your life, at some point, you'll come back and be like, you know what, I was wrong.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm going because I'm only here to help you if you're willing to help yourself, as long as you want me here.
Yeah.
So then you're going to come back and be like, well, Mr. Eddie, I appreciate hey, man, this is what I was trying to teach you all along, young man.
Nah, that's cool stuff. Man, it is really cool. The really cool thing about the conversation that we have, and it's really a decision thing, rather to stay or go. And in light of the game that we just played, that's going to lead into our conversation. And I want to highlight something that just happened this past weekend, man, with Tyreek Hill. All right, so for all you that's watching that may not know, Tyreek Hill is one of the top receivers in the field, plays for the Miami Dolphins. He just, after the game they lost this past weekend, and he was on the report and just said, I'm out. You know what I mean? He kind of, I guess, alluded to things just wasn't going the way, and he got to be loyal to himself and his family. And he basically just saying he was out. Just to give context to the situation, for the past couple of years, I think this is his third year with the team. For the first 2 years, he went over 1,000 yards. He had a pretty good season. This year, they had a down season. The quarterback got hurt. Some other players got hurt. So they really had a slow season. Everybody had a slow season. Even the other leading receiver, Waddle. So for him to get to the position to just say he's out, it got me thinking about it, man, because a lot of people, even correlating the situation, Tyreek Hill situation to people in life, a lot of people, the decision that y'all just was making when I was giving y'all the game and y'all said I'm out and leaving, that made it sound like a decision. Those decisions are easy to make. Those aren't easy decisions to make. There's some people that's in relationships right now that they know they shouldn't be in. There's some people dealing with people that they know they shouldn't be dealing with. They've been dealing with for the last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years because of loyalty, because of what they was brought up on, and just other reasons. So it brought up the thought process in my head, and I want us to have the conversation for our viewers. When do you know when to move on? Like, what are the signs on the wall? When is the right time to win? Like Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, there was no question in his mind. Like, when he got like, I'm out, bro. Like, he was solid. There had to be something he had said going into that year or that game, like, this has to happen for me to stay. He was concrete on, I'm out of here, bro. And like that, you get what I'm saying? So he wouldn't, for most people, they can't make that decision like that, or they're not making that decision like that. They're holding dead weight and they're doing other things. I want to ask you guys, when do you know? When do you know when to move on?
I guess for him, he just, like you say, he not really setting a boundary. It's more so of building a mentality. If you got a winning, I mean, we listen to Eric Thomas, ETA all the time, man. You know what he said, when you got a culture of winning, once you lose, I mean, you're okay with losing, you're okay, with taking a loss here and there. But if you just keep losing over and over, bro, at some point you just gonna stay in that losing mentality. You're gonna stay on that losing team or in that losing environment. So you just got to get, if you're used to winning, at some point you're gonna remove yourself. Okay, I see y'all gonna continue to do what y'all doing to continue to lose. I'm gonna remove myself and I'm gonna go find a team or a spouse or somebody that's gonna win with me. You know what I'm saying? So I just you gotta, when you know what I'm saying? Especially if you already been built and wired that way to win. So I mean, I guess it's just a feeling. It's something that you've been cultivating for so long, or whatever the case. But it'll come to that point in time. If you're not okay with losing, you're gonna leave. And I think that's anybody. I mean, at least my opinion.
Yeah. What does loyalty play in there? What is you get what I'm saying? So anytime you get in the situation, so in this situation, there's a player with a team. Mm-hmm. It may be a person in a relationship. It may whatever the situation at hand is. But this is a bond. We have a sense of loyalty to each other. So just because things didn't go the way I thought they should, that's okay for me to just get out of it?
No, I'm pretty sure, like you said, they may have had discussions in that locker room. I mean, I'm sure, I would think that team wouldn't want to.
And it's not a Tyreek Hill situation. Again, these are I'm just saying in general.
So, well, okay. So in that, using that as reference, I mean, even in a relationship, man, if I'm tired of not having money, if I'm tired of not being able to experience a certain happiness, being able to go on vacations, being able to experience life that I think we should, and I know that I'm doing my part, and I can clearly see that, all right, whatever your habits are, whatever you're used to doing in your past relationship, or you weren't taught how to, then at some point I have to be okay with who you are, knowing that that's okay for you. That's not okay for me though. So I have to remove myself because I'm tearing myself down because I'm probably fighting myself in my head. I'm probably calling my boy too much, telling him what I got going on, and he probably tired of hearing about it. So I mean, you just get to that point of just when you know that it's something better, something more to life that you can achieve without somebody. What it says, I can do bad all by myself.
Yeah,
babe,
you out of there. What's up, brother? What you think?
not really loaded, but I think it's like it's a little bit deeper than they kind of just like a either or type of thing. What I mean by that is, speaking for myself, I look at it first, what did I learn from it? And because not all the time when a situation is bad is, bluntly speaking, it is very rarely about the other people or the external. It's about you. Realistically, it is. It's about how you handle the situation, what you're willing to handle. If you acknowledge if you may be the problem, if you need to change a certain part about yourself, or sometimes, it is that the external factors may need to change, or what have you, but it all depends on how you handle that moment, those situations. And so it's different because like if you're in a relationship with someone, I say marriage because I'm married. When it comes to that, it's in despite of everything else, that's my partner. You know what I mean? So despite how some days she may get on my nerves, some days I may get on her nerve, at the end of the day, we both understand our commitment to each other. So we have to learn from that situation. Is it this time? Is it something Miles needs to deal with and to change within himself? Is it this time is Ruth that needs to change and deal with something with herself? Or heck, is it both of us got to deal with something, change and come together? So it's more so about understanding the situation and what is it that you learn from it. And that's what I meant by that. And then secondly, is it time for you to go from that situation? And that's where like prayer and faith comes in. So is it, God, did I learn everything you would have for me to learn while I'm in this environment around these individuals? So, because again, it comes down to you. We all have our individual lives. We have to live different levels of growth that we have to experience to ultimately become that person that we were created to be. So if you learn everything that you need to learn from that environment, both good and bad, and you have signs that, and this is, I'm assuming like other people looking for these signs, praying and different things for it. And once you get that sign that, okay, yeah, it's time for you to move on or go and do something else, then go ahead. You know, you done all of what you were supposed to do, got all what you were supposed to get, given all that you were supposed to give. So yeah, go ahead and go. But it's more so just having that maturity to take pause and think about these things, because regardless if you know that you still have more that you can learn, more that you can do, and you know that you're praying about it and another door hasn't opened for you or whatever, then that's when you have to have a maturity and say, despite of everything that's going on, I may be uncomfortable or I may be upset with what's going on. That's your place that you need to be right now, to be that person. Now, we all got free will. So you can leave if you want to, you can stay if you want to, but just know that you may be missing out on all that you could have gotten out of it.
So, and I'm glad you stayed on the relationship aspect. So I'm gonna talk from like a homeboy aspect. So he said that about me leaving the mental, because I've had a lot of homeboys in the past. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot, but I had a couple homeboys that were like brothers. Like, bro, we sleeping in the same bed, you know, like as brothers, we're staying into that, you know what I'm saying? So, and we grew up like that, at each other's house all the time, played ball together. But then it got to that point of, like you say, the loyalty. So I know I was making, it's funny now, but I was making decisions, or I was allowing myself to be around these individuals, doing certain things for these young men, or doing things for these men that I probably knew, like, dang, bro, I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm so loyal to you that I'm gonna do it because you my boy, you my brother. So now in that act of being loyal, I'm making these decisions, but then I started seeing you change up. You changed it up on me now. I'm knowing it's playing on my mind, like, hey, I'm doing everything I can. I'm leaving later than I should leave to make sure that you where you need to be, or I'm leaving my family before I should because I need to make sure I get you back to where you need to be. But then I see you changing up on me. So now for me, now I gotta say, now I gotta take, like you say, now I'm analyzing the situation. All right, I'm already doing things that I know I really don't want to do. I don't want to leave my family, or I don't want to go to this place that I know if I don't go with you, you will call and be like, hey, bro, you going here? Because if you're not gonna go, basically he didn't feel safe with going to certain environments. I ain't do nothing in them environments. I know I'm cool, but in order for you to go there, you would need me to be with you because you knew I was. So I did all these things, put myself basically in harm's way, because if anything would have went down, I'm knowing a loyal homeboy, I'm gonna stand there with you. I'm gonna make sure that you're straight. But then I started seeing you acting different. So now I had to realize, like, okay, I put myself out on the line for you, and I see that you changed up on me. I gotta distance myself from you because now I'm getting upset because I'm being a loyal homeboy to you, and then you change up on me. So now I'm getting angry with you, and that's gonna make me act out on you. So the best thing that I can do is to leave. So in the same sense with Tyreek Hill, I mean, we've seen some NFL players. I mean, you seen some interviews where they record some of the wide receivers and they batting the ball down in practice to show that they don't want to be there. But that's insane. That's your image. That's what people are gonna see on the camera. This is what kids gonna see. You as an NFL star, you're batting down the ball because you don't want to be on this team. So I feel like for Tyreek in that situation, before it gets there, because he figured out, like, okay, that's not the environment for me anymore. Even though, yes, he's on a team and, you know, his bond is with his boys, he's in a winning culture. You know what I'm saying? Mentally, he's in a winning culture to where he wants to win. He done lost long enough. And before I let my emotions erode and I start acting crazy, I just dismiss myself and try to find another team.
Yeah, most people can, to even go against that, most people can, that act that he did was an emotional reaction in a sense. Because, I mean, when you think about a professional, most people, I think, would say that was unprofessional, how he went about that, just coming out and saying, I'm out. Yeah, that's not a professional thing to do. If you out, there's ways to go about just going upstairs and, hey, I'm out of here, not putting it to the media. Now you're making it a media frenzy, which is a whole different thing. So to your point, and then that's a whole nother conversation when it comes to professionalism and being a pro, and how you're supposed to handle yourself as a pro. Me personally, I don't think that is handling yourself as a pro. But even when we thinking about the conversation, it made me think back to just people being. There's a lot of people that like you had that thought process of people saying, you know, I'm gonna leave them behind, or leave them in 2024. And now we're coming into the new year. I'm like, man, what if a lot of people could have the same spirit as Tyreek Hill? Like, really on some I'm out stuff. And then because his situation, obviously we don't know the ins and outs, but there has to be something deeper that's going on to have him get to that commitment. But what I'm getting at, expectations. Most people have certain expectations. That's what really starts taking shifts and makes, you know, situations start going sour because they have too high expectations and the person didn't meet them. So now, you know what I mean, they want to leave. Then I start thinking about the words. So we start using words like loyalty and you got to persevere. You got to do these things. Do y'all think those words hinder us? Because when you think about loyalty, obviously loyalty is a thing. So in this situation, some people may think Tyreek's not being loyal. But when is it like, what is the line of like, okay, I'm being loyal to a default. I'm persevering to a fault to where it's hurting me. And I think that's where a lot of people need to hear, because I think a lot of people are holding on to dead weight because of loyalty. I'm loyal to this person. Like we just talked about the scenario. That's my dog. I can't let this go. But at the same, you're not moving anywhere. And I think most people need to hear, okay, when does loyalty run out? It's simple. You just gave. The loyalty ran out when you seen that, I guess it wasn't equal. You get what I'm saying? So when there are other things that people can look at and just say, bro, this ain't it for you. If you guys get like, you want a couple things, say, this ain't it, move on.
You said something big, like expectations could be the straw that break the camel back, so to speak. You could, whether it's a relationship or friendship, like you said, you have a certain expectation of somebody that you give them higher expectations than they have for themselves. And the moment that they don't reach that, then it gets to that point of like, man, I thought this person was better than that, or I thought this person would do the same for me that I did for them. You know what I'm saying? So then it gets to that point of like, okay, well, this person isn't meeting my expectations. And if that's the type of person that you are, the type of, I guess if that was just how you were raised, and you're only going to allow yourself to be around certain people that carry themselves in a certain way, or people that's going to treat you how you want to be treated, then at that point, that's when that loyalty and expectations and all that, and I got to go, because again, when those expectations not meet, your whole mentality, your whole demeanor, everything about that person is tarnished. You don't feel the same way about that person no more. So now you leave out. So I mean, that's pretty much how I see it. That once that expectation, and that's relationships too. I'll let Miles tell you that.
I mean, people have a funny way of twisting words. Like words have meaning, and those meanings are, largely they're static. Like a word has a meaning, but we like to play around with with the potency of the definition of a word. So like loyalty. So the way that people go about using loyalty, it's, you got to understand, like it's a two-way street. It's not just if you constantly doing the stuff and this person just there's no reciprocation in the way in which they can reciprocate, which is important because that goes into with expectations. It's twofold. I like when people talk about expectation, things like that, but at the same time, like what cultivates your expectation? Like people don't really think about that. When we say, well, I have an expectation of this person, one, in a point blank way, it's like, well, who are you to really put that on that person? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, if I say, well, it's my expectation that you're gonna do blah blah blah, that may have never been in our person wheelhouse or thought to be like, yeah, I'm gonna do it like that. So we gotta be real careful with how we use terms and different things. And so for me personally, like, yeah, I can have it in my mind what I want that person to do or a level of expectation, but it has to come with the realization that that person can only do what that person can do. So I have to temper my expectations once I do apply it to a person. It can't be so forced and static that it makes or breaks the view I have of that person if they don't meet it, because my expectations may be founded on a version of that person that I don't really know. So like I may sit there and see that person in front of me, and based on what they give me, I can set an expectation for that person, but I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. I don't know what else that person has to deal with. So I have to be fair. And so that's why I'm real careful with throwing expectations or saying, well, I don't know what you got going on. I can only know so much or what you give me. So I can hope that you can reach that, and we can do it together, then let's do it together. And that's where the loyalty comes in. But if it's just like, if the loyalty or what you think is loyalty is built upon a false premise or is fake to begin with, then it was never any loyalty there to begin with. You went into it with a misconception of the dynamic of the relationship, if you will. So it's really just thinking about, and being careful with the relations that you create or that you get into. And once you get into them, clear, concise communication, and then the fairness aspect, and then, just communicate and go along together, whatever path y'all have created together, and say, okay, what's going on? Are we getting there? Are we not? What's the situation? And loyalty isn't always just the blanketed, like, well, we together. It's the loyalty to wanting what's best for that person, or that person to be healthy and whole. Yeah. So like my loyalty to someone, we can be loyal to each other and we can be on the same team, but my loyalty to that person is, say, for example, I'm pretty sure this is something that's happening right now with Tyreek Hill, right? He probably has a friend that's on that roster who is like, man, dang, you ready to lead the team? But hey, I get why. I get why. So I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh man, you on loyal to, but no, like I get why. We have different reasons as to why we play and why we do what we do. I get you want to be on a winning team. You want a team that's Super Bowl contention ready, all that. I'm more so a process guy. I'm fine with dealing with the process. I'm not gonna trip. Go do your thing. We still cool. It doesn't mean I got to, burn your jersey out back, nothing like that, but it's how you interpret it, how you look at it. But that's just how I view it.
Yeah, I like it. And just to bring it back, I want you all to remember, so this conversation, this could be a relationship with you, your job, your child, you and your church. There's different relationships that we have in our life that it gets to a point to where we assess ourselves and we're like, is this helping me or is this hurting me? And when you get to that, there's some people that are in situations that they know aren't good for them, but they stick with them because they feel to the point that they are loyal to this thing. And again, I like how you just said that we have to be able to define and know the definition of these words to be able to use them for what they're actually for, and be able to know that at the end of the day, you have a commitment to yourself and make sure that you put yourself in the best situation. Obviously, in a relationship, you do have a commitment to the other person, but again, that's not to your detriment. You can't be allowing someone else to stand on your back while they're kicking you in the dirt. And that makes me even want to think, I want to ask y'all this question, because most people aren't leaving situations out of fear or out of guilt. You get what I'm saying? It's fear, guilt. So if somebody watching this right now, they like, man, I hear y'all, but you know, I love them, and I just fear if I break this relationship, something may happen to the person, or my job may not do something, or I just feel guilty that, you know, God may have put me in this relationship brought me to this person for a reason, or God put me here for a reason. Even though it's hurting me, I feel guilty and I can't leave it. What would y'all say to that person?
Goes back to what I said earlier. What did you learn from it? Because God doesn't bring us anything just because. It's something in it, and it's to our individual benefit. That's why I said you have to focus on you in those situations and not focus on you in a self-centered, like in a selfish way that has a malicious intent. Is more so understanding, did I learn what God would have me to learn in this situation about myself? So you have to, it's handling the situation with intent. It's not just getting caught up in face value, or as they say, losing the forest for the trees. You know, it's not always about what's just in front of you. Most of life isn't about just what's in front of you. It's always so much more that's deeper, that's behind, you know, motives, your own individual feelings, your actions, other folks' actions, and you can't have that such a black and white view. And if you truly honest about trying to make the best informed decision, take your time and really, just like I said, really think about everything. What, you know, if you know you gave it all that you had, if you know you went through many seasons, trials, learning about yourself, you've been devoted and committed to improving yourself to handle the situation better, all these other things, and it's still constantly like just a negative thing, and it's just getting to the point where it's diminishing returns. You're not really getting anything back in return anymore, and you honestly praying, and you fasting and everything else, and you see that clear option to go, then like I said, by all means, go ahead and take it. But you know, just make sure that you're doing your due diligence to understand the situation and where you at. If you're supposed to stay. And if you stay in that situation because you know that there's more for you to learn, more for you to do, then don't make yourself a martyr, first off. And that's a big thing, because people do that. They'll understand, like, okay, for the time being, this is where I have to be, but they'll make themselves a martyr. Everything is like they're dying on this cause or on this. It's like, no, you know what it is, right? This, you in the preparation for the next elevation in life that God's going to bring you to. And I get that it's tough, but try your best to handle it with grace and just really just be dedicated on understanding what it is God is trying to get you to understand out of the situation. If you do that, you're gonna be okay.
Yeah, I think I need everybody to understand this. I think my key thing, I need you guys to understand that when you move on or when you pivot from a situation, you got to rethink how you think about what's going on. It's you are strategically making a move for the betterment of yourself. And this is even the cycle of life. If you go even down to animals, if a cow is in one pasture and the grass runs out, you're not just going to stay there. You're going to go to another area where there's more grass. I mean, if you're in a situation or you're in a relationship that is doing nothing for you, you have to move on. And I know there's somebody right now watching this that is struggling with this, because a lot of people do. But for the same reasons that we're saying, you just got to understand that you got to be strategic in your move, in the way you think about these things. You're not quitting nobody. You're not telling nobody. You're just moving on for bigger and better things. And that move that you make is going to open up the doors, maybe even for that person to be able to find some way back, or you be able to help them see what they didn't see. But by you staying involved in that situation, that pot is just staying the same. While you moving yourself out, you change the ingredient. So And maybe the person that you relationship in, they see that they have to change something up to better themselves. And then, but by you making a strategic move to get up out of that situation, you're helping everybody and aiding yourself and aiding the other person that you're in a relationship with.
Another thing to piggyback off what both of y'all saying is not only when you make that move, you're also, it's so, like you're saying, being strategic, thinking about, praying on it, especially for, so case in point, a job. I know a lot of, like, I want to leave this job, but I don't know, I'm so loyal to this company. When you make that decision to leave the job, who is it really benefiting that when you leave? Is it benefiting the job? Or are you trying to benefit the job, or are you trying to benefit your family? And so basically what I'm saying is, in that moment when you leave, or that decision that you're making to leave whatever, that person, that job, how is it going to help the people that lean on you, people that's looking up to you? So it's saying on the relationship aspect. So you're we can still stay on the job. Let's stay on the job first. So you're on the job, you're working 90 hours a week. You ain't got no time for your family. You had a job playing good, and you got your I guess your supervisor, your managers are like your best friends, but your kid's not seeing you at home. That, I mean, I know that, you have to take care of home, but at the same time, you're tarnishing a relationship with your family. That makes sense. So when you make that move to leave the job, yes, you may not be making as much money, but now you added time with your family, with your kids, and now you're seeing them more. So now you're building that relationship. So what's more in a relationship aspect? Sir, you with this young lady, and it's not beneficial for the kids because y'all fight, y'all argue every day. Well, who really hurting by you staying there? By you staying there, is it helping the kids out, or you leaving, still keeping this relationship with your kids, so they're not seeing this every day? Is it probably better for you to go so that the kids not seeing this fussing and fighting and thinking that that's how they supposed to go about life? So again, you just got to think on it and see who it really benefits at the end of the day. I think a lot of people make decisions when it comes down to the loyalty. They make decisions sometimes and not think about how those decisions affect somebody else. And with that loyalty or those expectations, whatever the case may be, whenever you think about it, there's always somebody's attached to the decision that you're making.
Then you got to, whether professional or relationship as well, you can't try and fool yourself. Like we can't save anyone in our own right, in our own power. You can sit there and love them, you can sit there and support them, be there for them, be there for the business, whatever it may be. But if they're marching down a certain path, that's on them to make that change. And you cannot sit there, again, like I said, don't martyr yourself. Don't sit there and try to, I'm just going until they finally, they're not. They can, but it's not going to be because you said, like, it has to be finally that person understands, like, all right, look, there's something that I have to do different. Like, it goes back to what I said. There's times where you have to understand that, okay, there's something I have to change about how I'm either handling this situation, how I'm reacting to the situation, what have you. And you have to understand what needs to take place. And, if it gets to the point where it's literally just solely on this external factor or on this other person, like you said, you have to have that inspired, decision to step away, let them go through life, understand what they have to do to better themselves, because you can't, it's never just going to be about you. And I think a lot of times people get caught up in their ego about that. Like, well, if I just sit around long enough, it'll finally just change to where it's not. You wasting your time. If you really care about that person or those people, keep them uplifted in prayer. That's the best thing that you can do, is keep them uplifted in prayer. And sometimes you have to love from afar and just be supportive and just hope and pray that they come around.
Now, I just felt we had to have this conversation, man. I think it's a lot of people that's watching this that need to build that Tyreek Hill energy. Just say, I'm out. Tyreek Hill been telling him for a while. He been scoring, throwing up the deuces. But I do think, man, as you're watching this, man, if you're anything, man, 2025 is your year. Okay, you need to build an energy to that. This is my year. There's nothing going to hold me back. I'm not taking no dead weight. Let everything go. Leave it in 2024. Hopefully it's already left back in 2024, and you need to do whatever you need to do to make sure that this is your year. And I think just saying I'm out, simple as that. Just think about that. The next person hits the man, I'm out, and move on with the situation. But obviously making sure you're making calculated decisions and moving on. But I do want to, as we wrapping up, man, I do a great conversation, and I hope you guys understand where we're going. Again, we made the reference to Tyreek Hill and the Miami Dolphins and what he had going on, but I do think that statement, that I'm out statement, the energy that he gave, if you haven't seen it, watch the video, that there could be contagious. I get, because there's a lot of people that don't do that don't make that commitment to say I'm out, and instead of whatever come with it to be able to make. Now it's in this situation, now it's Tyreek Hill's responsibility to take on whatever comes with what he said. And the same thing with you. When you say I'm out, you got to be ready to take on what comes with that. And I think that's what scares a lot of you. But in order to break free, I think you have to do it. So to wrap it up, I do want to get y'all opinion though. Y'all think that was do y'all agree with how Tyreek went about that, or nah? Why not? Why you don't agree with it?
Because I mean, it was obviously things that happened off camera that may have led to his decision. So, if things happen off camera that led to the decision, then handle it off camera. Not everything for the world to see. It just, the only thing it does is just muddy the whole perspective of the situation and make it more of a spectacle than it need be. And God help you if you let things get in the media, because the media is going to do what it does. It's going to fish for them clicks and them shares. So now you say literally 4 words or something, they done added a whole paragraph to it. So it's handle business better.
Yeah, like y'all. Same thing, I agree. I just handle it off stage, cause camera.
Yeah, and I got the same thing. Sentiment, I just think again, if it, and you just hurt yourself, because now, like you say, they about to spin a narrative on you, make you a bad guy. A guy like that, great athlete, he's gonna get picked up no matter what. But still, you could have made your package a little better, going about it a different way, just trying to leave. So, but again, the conversation, man, I don't know if y'all got anything else y'all want to say before we spin off. Anything else I want to add to the conversation?
I'm good.
Hey, I'm out. Simple as that, man. I'm out. Build that energy this year, man. I'm telling y'all, 2025 is your year, man. EL2A Podcast, man. We're going to give out these great episodes. Stop what you're doing. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Tell us what's holding you back right now. Comment in the section. Tell us something that's hindering you, something that you want to say I'm out, and tell us why. Maybe we can have a little dialogue, help you out through that. But again, you have to let go of dead weight. You have to self-assess, self-reflect your situation and what's going on. Do I need to pivot? Think about it like that. Instead of thinking you're like, it's a pivot. You're not quitting nobody, just pivoting. You're pivoting on to something better. But again, that pivot can be able to be life-changing for yourself and for that individual, and for that company, and for whatever that you're dealing with that you're trying to break away from. But again, 2025 is your year. Don't let nobody else get in front of it. If your boys ain't got nothing else, we out of here.
I'm out.